oh my gosh, you guys, this was one of the worst neglect cases I've seen in a really long time. I mean, you almost can't even tell that it's a dog. This is not matting. These are called pelts, and this takes years to happen. This does not happen overnight or in a couple weeks or couple months. The thickness, he's a 5-pound dog. He looks like he's probably about 15, 20 pounds. This is a 5-pound dog. It was unbelievable. He reeked of urine. And the only other thing I can think to describe is dead carcasses is what it smelled like. I was leaving my house about a week ago, and I live in Phoenix, Arizona. And if you follow any of my social media, my TikTok and Instagram, I talk about the area I live in. It's shitty. There's pockets of good places, but it's a bad part of Phoenix. And right up the street at the park, there's a ton of homeless people that live up there, and that's where all the drugs are. That's where everybody deals the drugs. And I was leaving my house, and there was a guy, he had 2 of these dogs. There was 2 of them, and he was leaving the park, and he walked right in front of the stoplight I was at. And my eyeballs don't miss things like this. And from hundreds of yards away, you could see the pelts on these dogs like flapping in the wind. And the guy's just dragging him down the street, and I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? You aren't passing me up without having a conversation. So I drive down the road the direction that he's going, and I drive far enough so that I pull in front of the direction he's going. I pull into the parking lot, and I just wait. And when he starts to walk up towards my area where I'm at, I roll down my window and wave at him just to get his attention. And everything I do with situations like this, I always start with love and curiosity. I will never, ever, ever accuse someone of what the hell are you doing with these dogs? I will never, ever, you will lose every time. So I just wave him down like, hey, what's going on? He comes over. He's like, not much. And he starts talking to me like he might know me. And it's instantaneous that you can tell this guy is completely geeked out on drugs. He just left the park. I know what he's doing, and why he has these dogs, I can't wrap my head around that yet. So I'm trying to figure it out. And he's like, hey, where you been? And I'm like, I've been around. So I'm just matching what he's doing. I go, I've been around. You know, I'm always around. I'm right down the way. And I go, what's going on? Are these your dogs? And he goes, no, these are my mom's dogs. And so I just jump into it because I know he's high on drugs, but there's also a little bit of, there's something else going on. And I can't quite put my finger on it. Look at these pelts. Look at this. My scissors, those are really nice scissors, and they don't cut through. Anyway, and so he says they're his mom's dogs, and I immediately go, you know, God, I love little dogs so much. I've been wanting to get 2 little dogs, really just 2 little fluffy dogs like this. I'll give you $500 for both of them. And he goes, oh, man, well, you know, I got to ask my mom. And in the probably 5-minute, 10-minute conversation I have with the guy, he asked me what my name was, and my name is Koco, and I told him my name is Kara. And he must have asked me probably about 4 or 5 times what my name was, almost like that we were having the first conversation. Like he just, you know, there was just a lot of things misfiring for him. So it wasn't a conversation that I wanted to leave without the dogs, but I wasn't making any headway. And so I said, John, how about this? Why don't you give me your number, and I'll give you mine, and you ask your mom and see what she says and give me a holler. And he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. So I repeat it a few times, and I really make sure that I know what his plans are for the evening. And I ask him, I was like, where are you staying? He goes, oh, I'm up here. I'm up here off, you know, and he gives me the crossroads, which are real close to where I'm at. And he said, yeah, I can talk to my mom in about 30 minutes. She's going to be home, so I can talk to her in about 30 minutes. And I go, oh, perfect. Okay, so I'll expect to hear from you maybe in about 45 minutes. How's that sound? Yeah, that's good. So we exchange numbers and go our separate ways. And I really think that's a rookie move. I hated that I did that because there was no telling if that was even the right number. And I didn't give him my real number. I used a Google Voice number. And the reason I did that is because if I would have given him my real number, I don't know who's on social media. And I know with TikTok, if I give somebody my phone number, TikTok will show them my account if they happen to be on TikTok. Like, they'll put it in their feed, and I post all this stuff on my TikTok and on my Instagram, and I tell people what's going on. So I did not want him catching wind of this should he have a TikTok account. Anyway, so I give him a Google Voice number, and that was how we stayed in touch. So I don't hear from him. About an hour later, I start blowing up his phone, and just with kindness. Hey, John, what's going on? It's Kara. I called, or I met you earlier at, such and such at whatever park or driveway we were at. It was like a gas station, I think. And anyway, so I get back to him, and he lets me know that he's home alone and I can come over. The guy couldn't quite figure out what I was doing. He wanted to think that I was trying to hook up with him, that I was trying to date, but I kept bringing the dogs up. So he tells me he's home alone. I'm like, oh boy, this was not what I was looking for, but let me see how I can play this out. And I said, oh great, what's your address? He gives me the address, and then right after that, I make sure and ask, I said, did you get a chance to ask your mom about the dogs? And he said, she's here, or she'll be here. And so I say, okay, here I go, I'm gonna do it. And I gotta be honest, you guys, this probably wasn't my best idea. I am aware of that, but I was gonna do it anyway. And I got on Instagram and I did a live stream before I got to his house, and I told a couple people on there what I was doing, and I said, I need you to write this address down for me. And they're people that are on my rescue team. So they write the address down, and I said, you're not gonna see anything, I'm gonna put you in my pocket, but if shit goes down, I need you to call the police and let them know where I'm at. And they did. So that's how we handled it. And I got over there, and he waited for me out front, and he was very polite. And his mom came outside, and she was a nice older lady, and we sat and talked. And again, never once did I talk about the condition of the dogs and how horrific it was. I just explained to her pretty much what I told him, and I said, I'd give you $500 for both of those dogs. And the reason I start with such a high price like that, one, I had the money. It was my money, and I don't care. I make money, and that's what I want to spend my money on. But also, people like this aren't trying to replace these dogs. When dogs are in this condition, they don't know what else to do. They might love the dogs or think they love them, but they aren't trying to replace this scenario. So I'm not worried about this cycle being repeated. And the truth is, even if I were, I'm not going to leave these dogs, and I'm not, just because that they might be replaced. So the conversations go on. The son is there, and he's being very unstable, and a couple people stop by to buy drugs from him while we're doing this on the patio. The mom yells at him. It was just, it was a funky situation, and I just kept my cool. And I realized they really weren't going to budge on the bigger dog, at least not at this point. And the son had a big play in that. The mom, maybe she would have if he wouldn't have been there. So I really felt like if I didn't get out of there right now, I wouldn't leave with any dog, because they would change their mind. And the reason, just so that you know, that I don't call animal control or authorities for this is because animal control really can't do anything. Most people want to think that they will or they can because it's such a neglectful case, but they won't. What they're going to do is they'd come over and they'd see that the animals have shelter, they have food, and they would tell the owners, you need to get the dog groomed, and we'll come back and check in a week and see if you've done that. And they're not going to confiscate the dogs. It's really just beneath their pay grade. It's not something that's going to get pushed, and I don't want to lose my in with this situation. So I tell them, how about this? I'm going to give you $300 for this dog. If you change your mind, I'd love to have the other one. And at the very least, if not, no big deal. I could always groom them for you. You're definitely going to want to like, subscribe, and follow, because I'm working that angle right now for the second dog, and I will post what happens, absolutely. This little guy is Ricky. I put him through the Leash Foundation course. It's $20, 7 videos. If you're struggling, you need a starting point, I'll link that in the description below. You guys, don't be afraid to have a conversation with someone. I'll see you in the next video.